Welcome to Life Talks with Anurag Paul. I'm your host Anurag Paul, and today we delve into a pressing issue that has affected Japan for years but has been intensified by the pandemic, the phenomenon of Hikikomori or social recluses. As we explore the impact of COVID-19 on Japan's already grappling population, we will also uncover the underlying social and demographic factors that contribute to this growing concern. A new government survey revealed that nearly 1.5 million people in Japan have withdrawn from society, leading secluded lives within the confines of their homes. These individuals, known as Hikikomori, are defined by the government as those who have isolated themselves for at least 6 months, with some barely leaving their bedrooms. Some of them only go out to buy groceries or for occasional activities. This is Life Talks with Anurag Paul. Let's get started. Let's first hear the story of Emi. Emi was once a vibrant and outgoing young woman with dreams of pursuing a career in the arts. However, as the pressures of societal expectations and academic achievements grew, she found herself overwhelmed and anxious. The stress only intensified when she entered the competitive job market after graduation. Unable to cope with the mounting pressure, Emi slowly withdrew from her friends and family. She stopped attending social events and even stopped going to work. Her world shrank to the confines of her small apartment, and the outside world became an intimidating and frightening place. Months turned into years and Emi's social circle dwindled to zero. She would occasionally step out to buy groceries, but even that became a daunting task. Instead, she found solace in her bedroom, where she immersed herself in the virtual world of video games and online communities. Emi's parents were deeply worried about their daughter's sudden isolation, but every attempt to reach out to her was met with resistance and frustration. The distance between them grew. Eventually, Emi's family sought professional help. With the support of a therapist, she began to address the underlying anxiety and depression that had led to her Hikikomori state. It was a slow and challenging journey, but gradually, Emi started venturing outside her home with the guidance of her therapist. She attended group therapy sessions to interact with others facing similar challenges. Over time, Emi regained her confidence and started exploring her artistic passions once more. While the road to recovery was difficult, her story is a testament to the transformative power of understanding and compassionate support. Emi's life story serves as a tender reminder of the actual impact Hikikomori can have on individuals and their loved ones. The path to recovery may be challenging, but with empathy, understanding, and support, there is hope for a brighter future. The phrase Hikikomori was coined back in the 1980s, and authorities have been increasingly concerned about the issue over the past decade. But the pandemic has added fuel to the fire, as a survey conducted last November by the government's Children and Families Agency indicated that COVID-19 has become a significant factor in their reclusive lifestyle. A staggering 1/5 of the respondents cited the pandemic as a key reason for their social isolation. The impact of the pandemic is not to be taken lightly. Japan, like many countries in East Asia, enforced stringent pandemic restrictions well into 2022, even as others embraced a living with COVID approach. The reduced opportunities for contact with other people during this prolonged period likely contributed to the worsening of existing social problems like loneliness, isolation, and financial hardship. Experts have linked Hikikomori to psychological issues such as depression and anxiety, but societal factors, including Japan's patriarchal norms and demanding work culture, also play a significant role. The country's aging population and population crisis add to the complexity of this issue as the elderly population swells while the birth rate declines. This creates a double challenge for families with Hikikomori members known as the 80-50 problem, where social recluses in their 50s rely on parents in their 80s. Authorities have been striving to address this issue and provide support through various various services including consultations, home visits, and community outreach efforts. However, the challenges intensified during the pandemic, leading the government to conduct nationwide surveys on loneliness in 2021 and release a more comprehensive plan of countermeasures in December 2022. These measures include public awareness campaigns, suicide prevention initiatives through social media, additional school counselors and social workers, and a 24/7 phone consultation service for those with weak social ties. There are also specific programs aimed at supporting single parent households such as meal plans for their children, housing loans, and planning services for those going through divorce. While the pandemic may have amplified feelings of loneliness and isolation, it has brought to light pre-existing problems that often go unnoticed. As Japan's single person and elderly single person households are expected to increase in the future, it is vital for the government to address the underlying issues of loneliness and isolation inherent in Japanese society. Let's try to understand the psychological factors that contribute to hikikomori. Hikikomori is often linked to psychological issues such as depression, anxiety, and social anxiety disorder. These individuals tend to withdraw from society due to the overwhelming stress and pressure they experience in various aspects of their lives. Japan's competitive and demanding work culture, along with societal expectations, can take a toll on their mental health, leading them to seek solace in isolation. The pandemic has been a challenging time for everyone, but it has hit hikikomori particularly hard. With reduced opportunities for social interaction and increased anxiety about the virus, many individuals who were already struggling with isolation found it even more challenging to engage with the outside world. The pandemic heightened their fears and reinforced their inclination to stay secluded. Families and communities must provide understanding and support without judgment, encouraging open communication and seeking professional help such as therapy and counseling can make a significant difference. Creating inclusive and compassionate environment can also reduce the stigma associated with mental health issues and social reclusiveness. It's essential to raise awareness about hikikomori and work towards creating a more compassionate and understanding society. Dear listeners, if you or someone you know is struggling with feelings of isolation or loneliness, remember that seeking help is a sign of strength. Reach out to friends, family, or mental health professionals. Remember, you are not alone. That's all for today's episode of Life Talks with Anurag Paul. We hope this conversation shed light on the issue of hikikomori and its impact on Japanese society, especially during the pandemic. If you have any questions or comments, please feel free to reach out to me on our website at www.lifetalkswithanuragpaul.com. And if you enjoyed this episode, don't forget to subscribe and leave a review on your favorite podcast platform. Thanks for listening. Join us next time for another insightful discussion. Until then, take care and be kind to one another.